Welcome to the Deep Focus Update. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for more updates and thrilling short scenes. On a tense August morning, President Trump strode to the podium, his expression steely and determined, as the world's media watched with bated breath. Without warning, he dropped a bombshell, announcing a sweeping 50% tariff on all goods imported from India, effective immediately, sending shockwaves through the global economy. The press room erupted in chaos. Global markets shuddered, with investors scrambling to make sense of the sudden move. For American companies like Target and Walmart, the news was a gut punch. Costs would spike overnight, threatening their bottom lines and business models. Executives scrambled to respond. Should they absorb the cost and risk shrinking profits, or pass it to consumers and face public backlash? The shockwaves spread fast, reaching every corner of the retail world. Just weeks later, Trump escalated further, threatening up to 300% tariffs on imported computer chips, a direct strike at China's growing tech dominance and the global electronics supply chain. Tech giants like Apple and Dell faced chaos. Would their Asian-made chips be taxed? Uncertainty froze investment, and boardrooms buzzed with urgent strategy sessions. This wasn't Trump's first tariff war, but the scale was unprecedented, targeting two of Asia's largest economies at once and shaking the foundations of international trade. The message was clear: the old rules of global trade were over, America was rewriting them, and the world would have to adapt, or face the consequences. Trump bet he could force nations to bend and bring jobs home, promising a new era of American manufacturing and economic strength. But as the world watched, dread grew. What would happen when these economic giants fought back? The uncertainty was palpable, the stakes were global, and the consequences unpredictable. Economists warned of ripple effects that could last for years. The world braced for retaliation, as leaders gathered in tense meetings, searching for a response. The trade war had begun, and no one could predict how far it would go, or who would emerge victorious. What are tariffs, and why does Trump see them as the answer? A tariff is a tax on imports, make foreign goods pricier, and American products look better by comparison. Trump's pitch: tariffs will force companies to bring factories and jobs back to the U.S., reviving the middle class. He frames it as patriotism and national security, especially with semiconductors, the brains of modern tech. Relying on China for critical tech, he argues, is a dangerous vulnerability. Supporters see tariffs as fighting for American workers and restoring Made in the USA, the promise short-term pain, long-term gain. But the risks are massive and the global economy hangs in the balance. Is this protection or self-inflicted harm? In India, Trump's tariffs hit like a tidal wave. In Tirupur, the knitwear capital, sewing machines fell silent as U.S. orders vanished overnight. A $10 shirt now cost over $16 to import. American buyers walked away. In Surat, the world's diamond hub, razor-thin margins couldn't survive a 50% tariff. Factories slashed hours, artisans lost their livelihoods. The pain spread. India's shrimp industry, supporting millions, was crippled by new tariffs. Prices crashed, production halted, and coastal communities face collapse. These aren't just numbers, they're families lining up for food aid, artisans selling heirlooms to survive. The Indian government scrambled for solutions, but the American market was their lifeline. And it was gone. The first casualties of the trade war were ordinary workers, not politicians. Their lives were upended by decisions made far away. The human cost was immediate and devastating. As American tariffs bit deep, pressure mounted in Beijing and New Delhi to strike back. The world's two most populous nations, both economic powerhouses, faced mounting calls from their own industries and citizens to respond forcefully. The stakes were no longer just about trade. They were about national pride and economic survival. The response: threats of a staggering 300% retaliatory tariff on select U.S. goods. This wasn't just a warning, it was a declaration that the rules of global trade had changed overnight. Imagine, a $1,000 iPhone now costs $4,000 in Shanghai. Suddenly, American tech became a rare luxury, out of reach for most consumers. Even a Big Mac becomes a luxury, a symbol of how everyday life could change overnight. The targets? Iconic American brands, cars, movies, designer clothes, fast food, chosen for maximum impact. These were products that shaped global culture and daily routines. These tariffs weren't negotiation tactics, they were economic sledgehammers, designed to send shockwaves through boardrooms and Wall Street alike. The goal: make American products unviable, and send a message to US corporations and voters. This war has consequences for you, too. Suddenly, the cost of everyday goods and the future of jobs were at stake. By focusing on high-profile goods, China and India aimed to create domestic pressure on Trump to back down. The hope was that American voters would demand an end to the pain. The escalation was dramatic, far beyond the tit-for-tat of past trade disputes. This was a new era of economic brinkmanship. The world watched as the trade war threatened to spiral out of control, with uncertainty rippling through every continent. Retaliation was no longer a threat, it was a promise. The message was clear: escalation would be met with escalation. The stakes had never been higher. Every decision now carried global consequences, and every move was watched by millions. The global economy teetered on the edge as leaders, businesses, and ordinary people braced for what might come next. For decades, McDonald's golden arches symbolized American culture in Asia, but a 300% tariff on key ingredients would send Big Mac prices soaring, turning a fast food meal into a luxury. Local franchisees would face ruin as customers turned to cheaper local options. The impact would ripple to other American giants, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, and more, all built on imported supplies and global consistency. Suddenly, decades of investment and brand building could unravel in months. Companies would face a stark choice: abandon Asia, or radically reinvent their products with local ingredients, risking their brand identity. The golden arches might remain, but the Big Mac would never taste the same. The trade war threatened to erase American icons from Asia's streets. In this fight, there were no winners, only casualties. Beyond headlines and stock tickers, the trade war's true cost is personal. It's not just about numbers on a screen or economic forecasts. It's about the lives and futures of real people, whose stories rarely make the news. Ramesh, a diamond polisher in Surat, watched his family's craft collapse. Factories opened just 2 weeks a month, savings gone, dreams shattered. Generations of skill and pride built over decades now seemed to vanish overnight, leaving families like his with little hope for the future. In Ohio, Sarah, a single mom on a factory line, fears layoffs as tariffs threaten her company's supply of semiconductors. Every day, she wonders if she'll be able to provide for her kids, or if tomorrow will bring a pink slip. "I voted for Trump," she says. "Now, I'm scared for my job." Her voice trembles with uncertainty, echoing the anxiety of thousands of workers across the country. In Tirupur, Priya, once a proud seamstress, now waits in line for food aid after her factory closed. The dignity of work replaced by the struggle to survive, her story is one of many. Her brother's college dreams are gone, the hope of a better life through education slips away, another casualty of economic conflict. These stories are multiplied by millions: shrimp farmers in India, tech workers in Silicon Valley, small business owners in China. Each one faces uncertainty, fear, and loss as the ripple effects spread. Tariffs aren't just numbers, they're decisions that destroy families and communities. The impact is felt in empty homes, shuttered businesses, and broken routines. The human toll is staggering. Behind every statistic is a face, a family, a future put on hold. Economic warfare leaves scars that last for generations. The pain doesn't end when the headlines fade, it lingers in lost opportunities and broken dreams. The voices of Ramesh, Sarah, and Priya echo a sobering truth. Trade wars have real victims. Their struggles remind us that policy decisions have consequences far beyond boardrooms. Their hopes are collateral damage. The dreams of children, the pride of workers, the stability of families, all are at risk. The world's leaders may debate policy, but ordinary people pay the price. For them, every decision made in distant capitals is felt in the most intimate ways. The cost is measured in lost dreams. It's seen in empty rooms, closed shops, and the silence where laughter once lived. And hope is the first casualty. In the end, it's not just economies that suffer, it's people, families, and futures that are left to pick up the pieces. As the dust settles, the world stands on the brink of a global trade war. The original goals, protecting jobs, punishing unfair practices, are lost in a cycle of retaliation. The evidence is grim higher prices for Americans, chaos for US industries, and millions jobless in Asia. No one is winning. Could this spark a global recession? Many fear yes. The solution? Diplomacy, not tariffs. Negotiation, not escalation. Compromise is essential. America can't bring every job home, and China and India must address real concerns. International bodies like the WTO could help, but only if nations cooperate. The next move will shape the world's future, prosperity, or prolonged pain. The stakes are nothing less than the world our children will inherit.